In the next week or two, Obama is going to take over the internet. He'll do something that all of the despots in the world have tried to do but failed to do, and he's going to do it by executive action. That's what I'd like to talk about today. The head of the FCC, Wheeler, is going to announce a proposal to the FCC, which will pass it because it's 3-2 Democrat, a proposal for the FCC to regulate the internet as if it were a regular utility company, like the phone company or any other utility, where rates would have to be approved and where procedures and services would have to be approved, and where the FCC could regulate everything about the internet. This is a terribly dangerous thing. Can you imagine if the United States were to take over newspapers and say that they all had to clear their ad prices and everything else with the government and their circulation policies and ultimately their content? It would be terrible. And this is truly what Obama is now planning to do to the internet. And he's using the excuse of net neutrality to do it. The excuse is that a lot of the internet companies want to charge more for high-speed service to certain customers. And a lot of the other companies that can't afford to do that don't want them to do it because they're afraid that it'll give too much power to the websites and servers that can afford those extra fees and too little traffic to everybody else. Well, they're right. Net neutrality is a good idea, but it should be done by congressional action without setting the precedent of federal regulation of the internet. So in the name of net neutrality, Obama is planning to have his FCC extend all of its jurisdiction to the net. Now, originally, the FCC was just going to do it for net neutrality, and the court threw it out and said you can't just regulate the internet. Either you treat the internet as a utility and you regulate it just like you do the phone company, or you don't regulate it at all. And everybody assumed that was the end of internet regulation. But no, the FCC said, okay, we're going to call it a phone company. We're going to treat it like that. And that is the regulatory action we can expect in the next week to 10 days, and with approval by the full FCC a few weeks later. And net neutrality is just the beginning. Soon we'll see all kinds of regulation, some in the name of pornography, some in the name of political speech. And we're going to enter into the same kind of world that we have with television and radio, where all the broadcasters have to have one eye over their shoulder at the federal government, because they know that if they run afoul this way or that way of what the federal government wants, they could lose their license. And now all websites and all servers and all providers are going to have the same situation because of an executive action by President Obama. You know, there's a bill wending its way through Congress to do the same thing without federal regulation, net neutrality, but to ban federal regulation. And the Democrats are probably going to line up and vote against it. And this has got to be a key issue for the 2016 campaign. I know that the young vote has gone to Obama in the past, but the more dependent you are on the internet, the more you rely on it for free speech and for lifestyle and all kinds of inputs, the more you have to rally to protect internet freedom, because it's definitely under assault. Now, the big internet companies don't mind this new regulation because they'll profit by it, but it'll ultimately mean the end, very possibly, of free speech over the net. Thanks for watching.